up, what up, what up? We in here. This is Beauty and the Beat Radio. I got my engineer right here, Rock. How you doing, Rock?
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. I have a Grammy award-winning producer, songwriter.
Hey, hey.
You have so many more credits to your name.
I've done a few things.
Andraeo, Fanatic. How are you?
I am good.
Welcome to Beauty and the Beat.
Good to see you, as always.
As always,
Yes,
we just saw each other at the Indie Film Festival where you were debuting, or is it your debut documentary?
Yeah, basically, that was our first screening that we did. So, Indie Night with Dave Brown at the famous Mann's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. So that was a big thing because it's a very famous theater, and so many stars have been there. So I felt privileged.
Okay, you felt privileged?
I did.
I felt privileged to be invited and see it.
Yes, yeah.
It is something they do, I guess, every Saturday. But I enjoyed all of the films that were there.
Yes, good platform for up-and-coming filmmakers to showcase their work.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit about your career. You're a seasoned producer and seasoned in this game here. How did you get started? Like, what was your first endeavor with music? How did you know that music and this entertainment thing was for you?
I used to be in a rap group back in the day.
What?
Yes.
I never knew that.
Yes. I was. I used to rap actually, and then I ended venturing off into the production side of it before I even knew that it was actual production. I was doing.
You just were making your own beats.
Yeah, I was making my own beats and doing arrangements because at that time a lot of the MCs were just rapping off of instrumentals.
Okay.
And my group actually had a drum machine, and I was actually making beats, and we had arrangements and choruses. Everybody else was just freestyling. So I was really producing before I knew that's what it was. And then I went to music school at the Art Institute of Atlanta.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was there at the same time as Jermaine Dupri and Speech from Arrested Development, and people like that were doing their thing. And then just going back and forth to New York City on the weekends as I was working like every job possible. Domino's Pizza, McDonald's, everything, And just networking, we were able to get some placements and land. We got the Little Kim placement. I did the record Crush on You.
So wait a minute, I got lost. You started. You're at the school. You're learning. You're doing you're rapping. You're doing your own production, and then you just landed a deal with Little Kim right out the bat.
Oh no!
I'm like, wait a minute.
No, we had an independent label, and we were putting out records, and they were getting played in New York City. So we would go back and forth to New York City and just build on that.
Okay.
And doing that because I was living in North Carolina at the time.
Okay. And so going to school in Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, I graduated from school in Atlanta and came back home to North Carolina.
Okay. See, why you skipping on? I'm not paying attention. What's going on?
I mean, honestly, it's been so long that I've been doing this. It's very rare because you're constantly grinding and constantly building your career. It's very rare that you have a chance to look back at it in retrospect and really realize
grasp all the things you've been through.
Yeah, and we were very fearless during that time because we never thought that we couldn't do this at a higher level or whatever. So fast forward, we were going back and forth to New York as our records were getting played on New York radio, which coming from North Carolina at that time, New York radio wouldn't play anything outside of New York because that's
right.
Like
I remember that
hip-hop.
It was the birth of hip hop.
Yeah, New York City.
Okay.
The hip hop's out in the Bronx. Karis one told you.
No, I know. You know what? I just had a flashback of, and we just kind of talked about it. Where we were showing the Snoop Dogg and actually Dog Pound song where they crushed the buildings.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
You're not even from New York. How you gonna get? How you banging? Yeah, like what the hell? Like, come on, man.
East Coast though. East Coast, baby. East Coast. We gotta represent. But go ahead. I'm listening.
West Coast. You forgot where you at right now. So, it's not. We're not starting no beef though. We're united through this music.
Definitely.
So, okay, just to be clear. But okay, so you were going back and forth. Did you ever collaborate when you were at school with all those talented people? You didn't know.
I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't. At that time, they were like this to me. They were on a whole different level. They weren't really big, but to me, they were really big to me. So I just kind of like followed what they were doing and how they were, making their moves and stuff. But as we were coming back and forth to New York, there was this place called the Hip Factory where...
Okay, that's a studio.
Yes, the studio is no longer there, but it was a big studio where like Puffy and everybody that was doing music hung out at.
Right.
And they all worked there. So we kind of figured out, we kind of like hung around and saw what time they would go in there every day. And so we would...
That's stalking.
Today it is.
Today it is.
Today
Back then it wasn't. It was
No.
networking. You were okay. I got you. I feel that though. I honestly do. Right now it would be stalking, but
Right.
back then.
So we park across the street and watch them go in at this time every day. So
Right.
it was like, okay, we should just come at this time and we can catch them. So, and it was I was doing this with my partner Eli Davis, who now manages Anthony Hamilton.
Okay.
And so we would wait there, and one day when they were coming in, we saw Biggie and we saw Puffy coming in the studio. No, it was Biggie and Mace actually coming in, and we told them that, you know, we produced music and we had tracks and whatnot. And for some reason they was like, all right, well, come upstairs, let's hear what you got. I guess they had just started on Little Kim's album. So we went in there and I'm playing all these tracks because I had my tracks on CD. You know, I was a step ahead of everybody else. So everybody else had cassettes and whatever. I had and DATs. I had mine on CD, so you could just go through the joints, right? So I'm playing them, and it's real quiet in the room. And so after I finished, I'm like, well, maybe they wasn't feeling anything. So I was like, all right, well, thank you for your time. And then Biggie was like, can you play? And he just started naming all these numbers. So he had been writing them down the whole time. I didn't even know that. And so next thing I know, I'm in the studio with Mace and Biggie every day, writing songs for Little Kim's album.
Oh, okay.
And so, so we got that off, produced a couple of other people, and then I went down south. At that time, I was like caught up in the hype, and I was like down south because they was like playing the record like crazy. So instead of being in
Playing
New York,
what record?
Crush on You.
Oh, okay, so
That was like the first one that I did.
you skipping some stuff.
What I skip?
Okay, so you in there, you stalking Puffy and all his crew
Right.
up at the Hip Factory.
Right.
Y'all playing beats, you getting acquainted, and now all of a sudden the record's hot at the radio. But I missed, when did the transaction take place? Like, how did you get Crush on You to Little Kim, or was it?
Oh, okay. Well, they were writing. Biggie and Mace were writing all
Right.
the songs for her.
Okay.
And so I was working with them.
So
every
you
day.
just telling that she don't write her own lyrics right now?
At that time,
She
she
wasn't.
wasn't really writing everything. Biggie was, maybe she was writing a little bit, but Biggie was really responsible for the concept. She
Okay.
didn't even like Crush on You, actually. She didn't even want the song.
That was one of her better
Right.
videos. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Right.
classic in the sense because all the hair. And all
Right.
that.
She was doing that before everybody.
Right.
So at the time,
Before Nicki Minaj.
right, she didn't even like the record. So if you notice on the album, Little Caesar is the only one that's on the record. And then they started playing the record when the album came out, and so they was like, girl, you better get on this record. So she
Right.
went back and did the record.
Okay.
And so the record comes out, blows up. I'm down south. You know, it's on the radio. I'm in the clubs getting all this love and whatnot instead of handling my business in New York City, negotiating these deals. So I kind of missed that window. So I'm down south. Nothing is really happening. And I found this artist that I started producing by the name of Omniscience. And he's a rapper. And as I'm producing him, Vincent Herbert is coming through town. Because he had...
You at this time, you're structuring these deals just straight off of meeting people and connections. You didn't have management at that
No.
time to represent you.
No.
So how did you become part of the hit squad with Puffy? Because I know that was a part of your journey. And,
Right.
You know, so how did you become a part of that?
Well, I'm going to tell you that.
Okay. Well, you can't talk the whole show. This is Beauty and the Beat Radio with me. Like, I'm gonna narrate
we
through
didn't get to that yet.
Okay, so you didn't get to
Yeah.
that. So y'all playing songs. So the Crush on You came before your affiliation with Puffy.
Right.
You just happened to you met them. They got
Yeah.
the track you liked. They liked.
Yeah, I ended up reconnecting because I was mostly dealing with Biggie and Mace and On at that
What
time.
song did you do with Mace?
Get Ready with Blackstreet.
Okay.
Okay, so Vincent Herbert is there.
Was he a manager at that time?
He had just done some stuff with Brandy, and he blew up off of the Tony Braxton record.
Okay, I got
How
you.
Many Ways?
Okay.
So he was looking for artists. He had a label deal at Elektra with Sylvia Rome.
Okay.
So he's coming through town, and we white labeled the record, the hip hop record, and he heard it, and he loved it. So he was like,
What
"Where
does
can
white labeled it mean?
That means where you just press it up and just put it out, and DJs are playing it and everything.
Oh, okay.
And so he heard it, and he called the radio station. Was like, "Who produced that? Who's the guy? Whatever." And they told him. So he came looking for me. At that time, I was twisted. Paper was gone.
Right.
I was I was no electricity in the crib. The beard was I was twisted.
Okay.
So he calls, and I'm like, he's like, come to the studio. So we went to the studio, and he was like, play me some music, and I just started playing them all the music that I had, because like at that time I was producing tracks like every single day in my house.
So you didn't lose your creativity even though stuff was stressing you out. You like, okay, at least I can go home and.
Yeah, it was just sex and music every day. That's
Who
it.
was you sexing?
Well,
you was making.
Well, gentleman never tells.
Okay, that's.
But so it was just sex. I mean, it was just.
You
music.
brought it up.
It was just music every day.
Okay, music every day.
We're gonna say it's just music.
Okay.
So he comes through, and he's impressed with this catalog of music that I have generated over this time.
Right.
So he flies us to New York, and next thing you know, we're in Sylvia Rome's office. We're having conversations about signing with them. At the time, he was working with R. Kelly and Barry Hankerson, so he was in the mix with a lot of people.
So the Leah project was going on at the time. Okay.
Right.
Missy was probably being signed around that time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It was a hot moment for election.
Yeah, you putting it all together now.
I'm putting it all together. Okay. Yeah.
So we go up there, and things don't work out with the deal or whatever. I end up actually producing the song on Aaliyah's album. I did the record, the Got to Give It Up record, the Marvin Gaye remake with Slick Rick on it.
How hard was that trying to get a sample clearance?
I don't know, because after I did the track, I didn't get credit for it.
You're kidding?
Yeah. Me and Vincent.
See that your paperwork wasn't right.
Yeah. I ain't having paperwork right. Well, actually, what it was is we had the same attorney. Because at that time, when
that don't work, that's a conflict of interest.
See, now where were you at when I needed you then? See, because what happened is that when you have the same attorney,
it's a
and you have one client that's making a bunch of money and another client that's making a little bit of money, who you think they're gonna pick?
That's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Period.
So she was like, "We'll get it on the back end. Don't worry about it." And so the song ended up becoming a single. The album sold like 8-9 million records or whatever like that. But even previous to that, I did a record on the Fugees album.
That sold 17 million?
Yeah,
that one?
Yeah.
What song was that?
I did the, what's the Lauryn Hill, Killing Me Softly.
Oh, wow. That was a nuts?
Now, at the time, I was working with Vincent, and I was going over. Prize from the Fugees was picking me up every day, taking me to the studio. And so they had a little studio in the basement that they were working on. I think they called it the Booger Basement or whatever. So I was producing tracks for them, and as I was producing tracks, they didn't have no budget yet.
Oh.
And Vincent was like, "Don't go back over there unless they got a budget." So I ain't go back over there. Next thing I know, I hear the track on the radio. So, of course, once again, advised by my attorney at the time. You probably know her, but we won't say who she is. But she basically.
I damn near want to call out Vincent. At this point, I have mucho respect for a lot of his work, but I mean, that's like when you mess up. You know what though? It goes both ways, and in this business, I think it's just key your growth, and you have so much insight. You have so much more. The reason why you're successful is because it's in you to do what you're doing. So it's like no one can take that from you. But I feel like sometimes people do, management or whatever, can take advantage when someone doesn't know the ins and outs. So it's key to find that balance and find somebody that really, I know of Vincent Herbert's work. We know from the Gagas to the Braxtons to behind the scenes. But it's not a good look when you hear a story like that, when you say like, dang, like, publishing, let's co-share,
well, let me explain the dynamics of that whole thing.
Right.
Okay, this is what it is, right? At the time, Vincent was like 21.
So both of y'all kind of were new, just filling it out.
I was filling it out. He kind of already knew.
Okay.
But you got to realize this: these people, they have been taken advantage of by people that were before them, and so they're just a product of what had happened to them.
I get that.
So I didn't really hold any hard feelings against them.
Okay.
I'm from the South, where you look somebody in the eye, and when they say what it is,
it's your word.
So when you come to New York City and you from the South, they just prey on you. And so
bless her heart.
So you got to go through all that, but if you know that this is what you were meant to do, then you don't let those things stop you or whatever.
And that's the.
And what's so crazy? I would see because Wyclef tried to sign me one time as a producer. I would see him all the time. I would see Prize all the time, and these cats would act like it never even happened.
Oh wow.
They would act like they're meeting me for the first time. I'm like, I came to your house like every day for like a month making tracks. And
who are they trying to make that up for? Like, what do you mean? Like, they would act like it's the first time meeting? What?
Like, when I would see them out, they'd be like, yeah, what's up, Fanatic?
They get Hollywood?
Yeah, they would just, like, shake your hand. Like, I'm like, yo, you don't know. So
some people are Hollywood. Yeah. We like that real. We 100 over here. So.
But I didn't let it phase me because you see where they are now.
Was that a low blow?
Well, I don't know if you see where they are because they might be invisible.
Ooh.
But, you know.
So, you still skipped my question talking about you gonna get there. How did I forgot what I was talking about with the Diddy situation.
Okay, well, we coming to that now.
Okay, come on.
Okay, so then I'm working for Barry Hankerson, and we're doing I'm producing some album in DC for one of his artists. So a friend of mine, this Vince's cousin.
Okay.
Shout out to Jersey. He was at, I think it was, where did Chucky Thompson go to school? At Howard University? I
don't know.
Where'd Puffy go? Howard? Okay, so he was over at Howard going to school. But he was interning at Bad Boy.
Okay.
So he told Puffy about me. And Puffy told me to come up and have a meeting with him. And when I came up and had a meeting with him.
Now that's somebody you better have your paperwork with before you get your shit to them.
So I played him a bunch of music. And once again, when these people see that you have a work ethic like that, they gravitate to you and they want to work with you.
Right.
So I saw him. He wanted to sign me. He was like, you and Mario Winans are next up.
Right.
I'm going to really push it.
Writing a lot too then.
Yeah. So we started working. But at the time, he was dating Jennifer.
Oh, okay.
And so Jennifer Lopez and him were in this really heated romance. But then he got the gun charge. And when the gun charge happened, his whole focus wasn't on it. It was that. So he wasn't really focused on the production company. Mind you, previous to that, they were producing every record on the radio. They were remixing everything. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm in.
Okay.
So when he got focused on his legal situation, he really wasn't paying attention to the producers. And I was generating more work on the outside by myself, just moving around.
So you didn't stay there long?
No.
Okay, I got you.
Well, he basically gave me an ultimatum, and he was like, I had stretched it out as long as I could, and I had done the Mace record. And as soon as I did the Mace record, something happened with them, and he retired on my single. And so he basically gave me an ultimatum. It was like, you either got to sign or we can't do business anymore. And I was like, well, I've seen the producers that are under you, like the Chucky Thompsons and the D-Dots and all these different producers. And it's like when they don't have it anymore, they fall by the wayside.
So you didn't feel like he was in it for the longevity?
No, I was like, look, I need a mentor. I need somebody that can help me grow in this business so that when my time is over, because everybody has a creative window.
Right.
And when my time is up, I want to transition into another phase of my career. He said, we don't do that over here.
Okay, I got you. So how did Six Borough Entertainment come about? Like, because that was how you, the structure of when you started producing, you named your company Six Borough. What is the meaning behind Six Borough?
Well, we lived in North Carolina, and all the people from New York used to come to school down there. So they would bring the fashion, all the drug dealers used to hustle out there. They would bring the fashion, the music, everything down there. So it was like a little New York, and there are five boroughs in New York.
Right, so you just, I figured it was something like that, but I knew you would be able to tell me that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what inspires you before you, like, when you're in your creative process and you're getting it together? What do you use as inspiration? What does it take for you to get into a zone? Is it always on for you?
Well, it's changed throughout the years. Before, I was just making music, just, out of instinct. Because at that time, you were in the culture. You were going to the clubs. You were working with artists. You were just immersed in the hip-hop culture. So once you immersed in it, it inspires you. You'll hear different records. You'll see different artists that will inspire you. Now, I more rely on things that happen to me in my life, whether it be a relationship, whether it be something that I'm going through or whatever, that I think I can write something that can help somebody else as well. So, inspiration comes from a different place now, because I feel like music has to have a purpose. It has to inspire somebody. It has to touch people. There has to be a message attached to it.
So, I know you brought an artist here. You're working with other artists now. You have a band, Andraeo Fruition.
Yes.
How did that come about? What are you doing with their other artists now?
Okay, well, I have an artist by the name of Sandra that I'm producing.
Hi, Sandra.
She is she does urban / pop music, and so we're about to put a single out and put a video out on
Why you
her.
didn't bring it?
We're just doing the finishing touches on it now, so we will come see you when we got it together, when we're ready to shock the world. So I think there's a void right now that's missing in music, and what we've been working on will fill that void. So she's gonna be big.
And how your band Andre Fruition is kind of like is it like a take on rock and roll?
Yeah, it's got a little rock in it. It's got a little soul, R&B, blues, gospel. I'm a big fan of it. It
does. It reminds me of all of those things.
See?
It was good. In the song, is it called Good Love?
Yeah, it is called Good Love. Yeah, that's the song.
Shit, like what's going on? It's feel good. Love is the key word. It takes us back to those 4 letters. Speaking because the 4 letters were in your film, love, right? It all comes back to love. So when you said, but I think that word love inspires you because it just brought a whole glow to your face.
It did. That's what love does.
Love does.
But you know, that song is really a spiritual song. That song.
It does. It takes me there a little bit.
It's about a man in search of his spirituality.
Okay.
But you know, it has love and sexual overtones in it.
So does your film.
Yes. But you have to bring them in, and then once you bring them in, then you hit them with your sermon. So.
I got you.
But love is something that resonates with everybody. Everybody's experienced it. Everybody has felt it. And if you ever experienced it, you know how incredible it is. You'll do anything for it.
Right.
So, you know, that's why we decided to make our message love, because that's a universal thing that touches everybody.
It does. Well, speaking on that and saying with the film, we have a trailer for your film because I want to discuss it, but I want to show our audience, like, you know, just a trailer for the film.
Well, let's go to the clip.
Let's go to the clip. Why don't you introduce it? Rock, we have that clip, right? Okay, why don't you introduce this trailer for us?
Well, yes, this is the trailer to my short film called God Don't Like Ugly. It's about an interracial relationship in the Deep South in the 50s. And let's just
When
take
did
a
you
look
shoot
at
it?
I shot it about a year ago in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. So let's see it. Let's see this.
Let's go to the clip.
Let's go to the clip.
In a time when their love was forbidden, 2 people from different worlds found their dreams in each other.
When you kiss me, it's like I'm flying above the clouds.
That's what I feel when I'm with you. I ain't never felt that with nobody else.
Not even with your own kind.
No, not even with my own kind. See, it's about love. And love is the only thing that matters.
His heart defied the evils of the real world.
This world ain't ready for this kind of love. They can't understand it. And they just see colors. Colors ain't supposed to be pure.
He's over there! Shoot him! You go that way!
We must get rid of this Andre Fruition and his insane theory of love. Love will change the world. His kind of love will send us all straight to hell.
The town tried to tear them apart.
No way the mixing of the races can ever, and I mean ever, be beautiful.
Andre will never leave us alone, you know that. They don't want us together. They don't want things to get all mixed up.
Hell, I don't know if I can change the world and what people think. But I can change how this world feels when I'm lying here with you.
Process Films and 6th Borough Entertainment presents a film from the mind of Grammy Award-winning producer Andraeo Fanatic Hurd. God Don't Like Ugly. Featuring original music from Andre Fruition.
Back, Beauty and the Beat Radio. In case you don't know, we're sitting here with Fanatic.
Yes.
Producer extraordinaire. So this film touches on some deep-rooted subject matters. What made you want to touch on race and just the issues, I guess, that we're seeing in this film?
Well, we're in a very dark time here in America right now with race relations and everything that's going on with the police and everything. So I think it's very important because like there's a separation of generations right now with the younger generation that don't feel, you know, the effects of racism. Our generation that we kind of know about it. And then, you know, our parents' generation who went through it.
Right.
So, and we don't really have any leaders now, as they did in the 60s, like, you know, Jesse Jackson and Martin Luther King and people like that, to help us, you know, speak out and stand up for ourselves and things like that. So it's just like a really confusing time. Corporate America has entered the whole thing, so it's like those that are empowered to speak out and help guide us and lead us have been like paid off to keep quiet. So you know, and then the younger generation are like immersed in materialism, so they don't really understand, you know, what it is, and racism is kind of like under the surface for them. So I was like, I need to create something that, you know, answers a question or gives us an answer to all of this, like how we can all come together, and that's through really understanding each other, and that comes from conversation, because it's a very awkward conversation when you talk about race, but we all...
You think so?
Definitely. Nobody wants to have that conversation and be honest about it, because we all have racist thoughts. We all are guilty of discrimination and things like that, you know.
But do you think it's always racial, or sometimes, like, say, it's people in our own race that make us mad, and we be like mad at them, and then
Definitely.
like, so sometimes when but then it becomes racial when it's the opposite race.
Right.
Sometimes you be like, oh, okay, they did this that way. Okay, I got you.
And it's so many dynamics to it, so it's like really hard, because it goes all the way back to slavery and a lot of those things that happened during that time.
Or what you've learned, like
and they still have an effect on us today. Like when you even look at materialism, like that's such a big thing with the culture right now, and we don't understand where it comes from, you know. But at some point you get your wisdom and you understand what's important in life, and you know materialism is not a part of that.
It's fleeting.
Right. But when the media pushes that, when the record companies push that, and those artists like that, and it becomes, oh, that's the way you got to do it. Because like when I look at my son, he looks at, you know, these images of athletes and entertainers that are very successful and rich that flaunt their wealth.
Right.
And so to him, he feels like that's the way to go.
Right.
You know, when you look at basketball wives and
The imagery.
Yeah,
right.
so,
and it does. It forces certain thoughts, like, oh, okay, we need to have some red bottoms or this, that. I get it.
Yeah, and those are like the #1 shows on TV. That's the #1 music.
Because the drama.
Yeah.
It's really the drama behind the show.
So, and there's not a balance. So you're only seeing one side of that.
Right.
So it's like when kids see that and they think, well, that's how you get, you know, successful, then that's what they follow. So
what I understand, there was a little racism that you experienced even during shooting the film in North Carolina. What happened? Something between the mayor or an interview or something? What happened?
Well, the thing was that, like, I lived in North Carolina, so I experienced racism growing up.
Okay.
Then I lived in New York for 10 years, where you didn't necessarily see it because it's like a big melting pot. Everybody's living and working and hanging out together, and then you come to LA and it's the same thing. So when I went back there, you know, these are people that haven't really gotten out to see the world. They're very segregated in their communities, so white people stay with their people, black people stay with theirs. They don't really mingle and mix like that outside of their own community. So the first day as we're shooting the love scene in the barn, the guy that...
Y'all had a lot of chemistry. Did you...
She's in my Bible study class, so we kind of knew each other before the film.
She was in your Bible study and you put your tongue down her throat like that? That was almost soft porn. It was like, did you hit it afterwards or something? But never tell.
That gentleman never tells.
Okay.
And that was after effects that we put in there to make it more realistic. That didn't really happen. But it's very awkward to shoot those things.
It's
because they're very choreographed, so it looks like, you know, you having a good time and all that, but it's
the on-stream chemistry was choreographed.
Yes. There's a lot of stopping and starting. It's a lot of people standing around on the set. So you know, you standing there you like in a room full of people with cameras and stuff. You can't get wood in that situation. So it's just, you know, you just in the moment.
Good wood.
So the thing about it is, as we're doing this, the owner of the place comes in, and I'm like the only black guy on the set. So he comes in and tells us, like, you've got to go, you've got to get out of here. He can't be on the set. You can't have him here. I didn't know he was going to be here. right? And like he's pointing at me, and so it got very
because it was his barn that
right.
you were shooting at. Okay.
But we had a clearance to shoot there and everything. So, so basically they told me to leave. So I left, and the director tried to clear everything up with him, but it almost got into a physical altercation and everything. So, and now we're right outside of Charlotte.
They didn't call you out your name or anything, did they?
No.
Okay, didn't go there.
Yeah.
It just
well, I don't know what they said when I was gone.
Right.
They didn't say it in front of me.
Right.
So then so we go downtown after that to a restaurant to eat. Me and the co-star, right? Now mind you, she's not white. She's Puerto Rican. But she's a little light. So we go into this restaurant, and there's like some black women sitting at the table as soon as we walk in. So they start whispering and pointing and giving us the evil eye and all this stuff. And I'm like, is this really happening? It's 2013. How is this happening? And so they made her really feel uncomfortable, and they just kept looking at us and staring at us. So we got up and left. So.
And this was recently. That's real deep.
Yeah. So then the third day, we shoot in this big field, and as we come out, we see this family. And they're quote unquote, how to say this politically correctly?
Hillbillies?
Right, yeah, they give you that kind of.
What part of Carolina were you in? Was
it
like a back somewhere where they don't come out much, huh?
Yeah, we was in the woods.
Yeah, because I'm like, this sounds so like 19 something.
Look, I'm going through this. I'm like, is this really happening?
Right, and you from there, so I'm just like, come on now.
So the
y'all
family
weren't at
comes
the local
out.
soul food restaurant or nothing.
No.
Gotcha.
So the family comes out, and when the family comes out, they're so welcoming, very generous. You want to use a bathroom, you guys need something to drink. They're just like this total opposite of
what you've been experiencing.
But I had to catch myself because I got dragged back into that mentality of judging people by their appearance. Because I had moved on from that, but just in that moment from the things that happened the previous day, it took me back to that space, and I had to catch myself, and I was like, this is not who I am.
And that's the whole power of your story, or what you're trying to tell about, not being so judgmental and understanding each other and each other's
as
culture.
Individuals.
As individuals, yeah, and I think that's very important. Who's your audience? How can this film be seen?
Well, right now, we're just doing private screenings on it, and we're eventually trying to turn it into a full-length feature film or a musical, and just build on the story. Right now, we're working with another screenwriter to try to flush it out and find a production company to produce this thing.
Okay.
But let me tell you about the mayor.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the mayor, we're shooting this thing and she comes out. We're shooting on a
She comes onto the set?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we're doing the chase scene with the Klan, which it was a little eerie in the middle of the day when you see the Klan chasing you across the field, and the mayor comes out, and the mayor goes like, you can't shoot this on my property. It
was her personal property?
Yes. We had a clearance though.
Oh, okay.
And she said, my grandfather was in the Klan, and the Klan gets a bad rap. And I was like, okay. So I had to convince her. I was talking to her for like 45 minutes that this is not going to put the film in a bad light, and put the Klan in a bad light. So I had to convince her that it wasn't that type of story in order for us to finish shooting. So I had to go home and do my research, and I was like, maybe I didn't research this enough, because I did a lot of research on this before I actually wrote it.
Right.
And I found out that the Klan was created because black people were unable to vote at this time, and the Klan was to terrorize them and scare them from voting and from running for political office. So they were a hate group.
Hello?
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew that, but when she told me that, I was like, well, maybe I didn't catch something.
Right.
So my initial reaction was to be upset with her, right? Because she's a politician. She has a responsibility.
Right.
But I had to check myself again, and I was like, she's a product of what her mother had taught her.
Her grandfather.
Her grandfather had taught her. Everything had been taught to her, and that's
what you're trying to break down.
And she believed that.
Right, I believe it.
She believed that. So I couldn't really be mad at her because that was her reality.
Right.
You know, even though it was incorrect, that was her reality. But when you get out and you see the world and you... Because love will penetrate all that.
It will, and I mean, just touching on that subject with today's time, when you hear about all that stuff that went on with Ferguson, they're under federal investigation with their department right now, and it was some things that came out earlier about like some emails between the federal agencies, and they were just discussing Obama won't be in office too. They said because no black man can ever hold a job for longer than 4 years. You know what I mean? And just those were just some of the emails that came out. I'm sure we didn't see them all, but I mean that's a storied history of a town that has discriminated against black people from I guess they were saying physically altercating when they come into contact with criminals or just under investigation situations. People are off, and they were just saying that it's a lot of stuff that is actually true about that department. I'm not speaking on that exact situation, but just the history of that police department, the federal probe that they're investigating. Things are coming out. So it's people that still have been taught or learn these processes from their previous. So it's good that you have this story going on.
Of course.
And
we just want to give people a perspective to just think about it, and try to work harder to understand each other and to love each other, because love will penetrate all that. That was Jesus' message, Bob Marley's message, John Lennon, everybody that championed that message. It means something.
It was. They just did a John Lennon, that quote. We just talked about that when we said. Quote? Well.
Can we get the quote in? Can we get?
No, it said, "Black is the what was the woman is the new nigger." What did it say?
John Lennon said that. Oh, he did say that on a TV show.
Oh, yeah. Being married. Well, he didn't say it on a TV. John Lennon is not living.
No, back in the day.
Okay, he said it back in the day, and the quote became relevant on the show a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
They opened up the show with that quote.
Oh,
and
wow.
I mean, it just put a lot of focus on the word, and people, we could take that word and make it negative.
Right.
But we can also teach people, about like maybe its history or why it came about. And I guess in him saying that so long ago, what they're saying is women still are not treated equally in certain situations, and being Mary Jane has a female lead character in Gabrielle Union, and her character is an executive at a news station and all of that. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of what the quote meant to the show. I kind of can't remember that show that day, but I do know that it was brought up in the topic. So when you said John Lennon, they quoted him.
And we're not just about, the film is not just about race; it's about discrimination as well, because
I get it.
that is something as well that's a big issue right now with everything that's going on in America, and it's more about just respecting each other and understanding each other, because we're gonna be here, we're not going anywhere, so it's like we got to figure it out and figure out how to exist with each other. But love will always
prevail.
Yes.
Okay.
In the end.
So let's talk about your band, the Andraeo Fruition. You have a college tour going on. What's going on with that?
Well, we're in the plan. We're in the planning stages of that tour, and what we'll do is we'll do a screening, a Q&A, and then a performance of the music from the film. The band, what I found is when you look back at history, every iconic artist that had a fusion of multiple genres in their music, so it was accessible to everybody.
Okay.
When you look at Prince, he was doing rock, R&B, soul, all these different things. Michael Jackson went on the Thriller album. He was doing pop, rock, R&B, all these different things.
And wait a minute, I didn't mean to jump, but I am. How was that experience working? You worked on Michael Jackson's album.
Yes,
what was the name of the song?
Heaven Can Wait.
Heaven Can Wait. What was that experience? How did that come together? Now, I know you had your paperwork right for that.
I definitely have my paperwork right for that.
Okay.
I learned.
Okay, so
well, I did the song on Kavon Edmonds at first, right? As Babyface's brother. Okay. And as we were doing the song, he was like, "Y'all keep trying to make me sound like Michael Jackson. I'm not Michael Jackson. You just need to go get Michael Jackson if y'all want to do that." And so the light bulb went off. Right. And I was like, "You're right." Right. And so I just played 6 Degrees of Separation, and I found somebody that was working with Teddy Riley. Okay. I knew Teddy Riley was working with Michael Jackson. So I sent him the record, and the next thing you know, we were in Miami, and Michael Jackson was standing like right there in my face. Wow. And so it was like, okay, this is
what was it like meeting Michael Jackson?
It was weird, because it wasn't just a typical conversation like how you doing, like in passing, you shake your hands. Like, he started talking about the record. He talked about what it was saying and how much he liked it, and it was like we were having real conversations in the studio. So it was just like really weird that he was just like standing there and you're talking.
You're trying to be in the moment, but you're still processing the thought.
So I'm talking to him, and as he starts talking, I just break out with this Kool-Aid smile, and I know he's looking at me like, why is this fool smiling at me?
Yo, okay.
And I'm like, this is Michael Jackson, and that eyeliner is killing me right now.
I know. So you're looking at him, but you're like, it's respectful. So I get you.
Yeah. So
who's your favorite artist that you've worked with? Do you have any favorites?
Probably he was probably the one of my favorite ones that were. Well, Beyonce. Yeah, that was one. Cause that record,
Dangerously in Love, right?
No, I did Speechless.
Oh, okay. Dangerously in Love was the album,
right?
Title of the album.
Yeah, but it was Speechless.
Speechless. Okay.
And so the thing about the record is, it was an instrumental at first that I created.
Speechless.
Definitely.
Okay.
So when I made the record, like I used to just play the record all the time, and you be with your woman and you just playing the instrumental, and you have the record invokes all these erotic thoughts and things like that. And so I ran into somebody,
loving Libra,
and they gave this girl the track, and she got it to Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
And so they wrote exactly what I envisioned the song to be about.
Oh, okay.
It just brings that emotion out of you. So it was just really weird when I got with her that what she had written was exactly what I was thinking when I was making the record, and it affected her the same way. Which that's the first time I realized, like, music
is so universal.
Yes,
it's like I think that music transcends all of those thoughts with race and all that. Steve, even right now, what you saying, the generation's kind of like, I know a lot of people that I can't remember even a era in school that I didn't have all ethnicities that I went to school with. Different. I mean, it's just always been pretty integrated for me. Like, you know what I mean? Not that I haven't seen or experienced racism, but I mean, it's been pretty integrated. But I think that music, especially the hip hop culture, and it's, is bringing together a lot of those disparities within race because of music being so universal and speaking to.
That's why we gotta like really use it to put the right messages out.
I'll take your shirt off.
Well, I'm gonna bring the guns out.
Take it off. What?
So,
getting hot in here. Right, soon as the end come, you're like, "Whoa, let me take this off."
But that's and there's nothing wrong with
take it off.
It's not. There's nothing wrong with the club joints. There's nothing wrong with those messages that speak on the realities of what's really going on, because that's what really happens. But you don't got to do 16 songs about that. But once again, that's the record companies making it a single-driven market, so they feel like you have to do those type of records in order to stay relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's like mixing it up.
Yeah.
What happens? Have you ever been? I know you have. You're in a club. Song you produced, written, or worked on, or whatever comes on. What do you do? Do you dance? Do you get happy? What does that feel?
I just look around the room and see what the reaction is. I was actually in a party Grammy week, and Crush on You came on.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm looking at everybody dancing and whatnot, and it's like when it comes on, like, oh, that was my shit.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We could cuss.
Okay.
That's his shit.
Okay. So I'm looking at the reaction, and it's like nobody in the room knows I did that record.
Right.
But just to see everybody still moving to it years later after you created the record, like and that's like a record I made in my bedroom, just working on it.
Right.
And now here it is touching the world.
What you doing? Paying bills? Like, really? No, I'm just kidding.
There's a little brisk in here.
So you just teased it. He wanted to show his arms off,
where's
ladies
my
and gentlemen. He wanted to get it, cracking. Then he's like, nah, I don't want to get it too cracking up in here. It's cold. Yeah, they do have the air on. There's a lot of equipment. It got to cool off.
It's a little nipply in here.
Let me see your nipples.
Hey.
We just had a discussion about that, how, a man can be on the cover of a magazine and show his nipples and women can't.
Wow, man. We need to do something about that. We need to see more nipples.
We ain't complaining.
Women cannot.
Oh, they can?
But guys are not complaining.
Oh, they don't. Y'all don't want to see nipples?
No, we're not complaining if you do show nipples.
You're not complaining, but we can't.
It's other women that complain. If a woman, that's what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm for more nipple. Let's have it.
Yes.
Yes. If you need me to take a stand,
we're gonna hashtag more nipples.
If I need to speak out on it, let me know.
Speak on it. Speak on it. So, I know I like the name of your film company, Process.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. know. You see? And you know, we was way ahead of our time. You know,
we were so ahead of our times.
That I learned so much from that experience because Serese worked with me on a magazine back in the day called Process Magazine, and it was about producers and songwriters in the industry. And we were showcasing them because they never really get the spotlight, and they're the ones that are behind the hits.
Right.
So we started creating this magazine, and you know, we got sidetracked and we didn't finish it. But that let me know that, like, and right after that, all these publications were featuring them. They had some spin-offs that were similar to our magazine, but that let me know, like,
we were ahead of our time.
Yeah, and you gotta stick with it, you know, because what happens is the media promotes the overnight success thing so much that
they don't understand the journey.
Yes, and people think it just happens like that, and so you know, you get discouraged and you stop. But you know, everybody, like I look at Alicia Keys and Beyonce, right?
I remember Alicia Keys got dropped from before she even got signed with Clive Davis. She got dropped.
Sign dropped, group members quitting, all of these different things happening, but they kept going because they knew that this was their destiny. And
right.
So we should have done that, you know, but here we are.
Here we are. We could fulfill something.
Yes, I think we should.
Okay.
We'll start with the nipple thing. We'll get that moving, and then we'll segue into something else.
See what I'm talking about?
See? Yeah.
And there, it wasn't no on-screen chemistry. He hit that afterwards. That's what I'm saying. Miss, what's her name? Ortiz?
Gentleman does not tell. That's very unprofessional. You think they asked Humphrey Bogart if he and...
No, I'm just playing. Gosh, I don't know anything about that, and I think she's still a virgin. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we're just... It's
about the love.
It's about the love. It was so much love transpiring on that screen.
Passion. It's all about passion.
Passion. So you have two more things I wanted to discuss with you. You have a new venture with vinyl, and it's on online. Tell us about vinyl. What is it? You're a curator with that project. What is that about?
I am a music curator for vinyl. It's a new company. You know, because there's this whole resurgence with vinyl now.
Right, correct.
And so they're like a membership service where basically you pay a fee and we pick out incredible vinyl and we'll send it to you, and you can keep it.
Where are they getting the vinyl from?
We're buying all these different collections from, you know, thrift stores, record stores that are closing down, people's personal collections, and we have this huge inventory of vinyl. From back in the day to all the way up to now, and basically I'll pick out something that I think is really hot, and I will send you these records that will, you know, change your life.
Do you think they ever will start repressing up vinyl records?
I was talking.
Is it like totally expired?
Oh, they are.
Yeah, I was talking to Renard about it. You remember Renard, my partner?
Yeah.
I was talking to him about that last night, and I think that the labels, as this thing starts to build even more, I think the labels will go in that direction.
Really?
And start reissuing a lot of this vinyl, because you know, there's nothing like the vinyl experience. Like when you got the record and you looked at the cover and you read the credits.
I was just saying that to Keisha, and I was just like, you know, even with me and with CDs, it's like I have a room, a closet, like it's nothing but CDs, and I won't get rid of them, even though a lot of them I've downloaded into my iTunes catalog and put them on my iPod, but I don't get rid of the actual CDs because I'm someone that goes, when I buy it, I open it, I read it. Sometimes they have lyrics. I mean, I really want to get it. That's how you get in tune. We're missing that, and I don't want even CDs to go away. Even a lot of the computers now don't even have a thing where you can. I'm like, how do you not have a CD? Or even cars, I heard, like, that's not right to me, because that's how you get this connection with the artist sometimes.
Wow, that's the biggest thing, is like you really start learning more about the artist outside of just the music.
Yes, it becomes personal. Well, social media introduces you sometimes. It is a connection that you're getting to with your artist now, that social media, you can't experience that. But it's nothing like opening up a CD that you wanted to hear and reading through it and kind of seeing their journey, hearing who they're thanking, seeing who, and that's how as people that are getting into the industry can actually learn who, like, they see the credits of who produced what. Not that it is an online database where these things can be found. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist,
but you want that experience all at the same time. As you
you don't want to
it. You know, you don't
want to have Wi-Fi just to search for who did what. You want it in your hand. And then another thing I wanted to discuss, how do they get on vinyl? Is it just online? Do you go vynl.com?
Yeah, yes. I was
Okay, I spelled it wrong, sorry.
VNYL.org.
VNYL.org.
Yes. Yes. And you'll go on there and you can find out about the service. We're just in the process of really launching very soon. We have a store that we're opening up down on Albert Kinney.
Abbott Kinney.
Abbott Kinney. I'm sorry, Abbott Kinney. That will have vinyl in there that you can pick out, and it's just the experience of getting reacquainted with vinyl again, and me picking out amazing music that I think you should experience and whatnot. So but shout out to Nick over there and Caitlin and Steve and Teal and everybody over there is working hard at getting this thing off the ground. It's going to be huge, and we want everybody to be a part of this experience of vinyl. I know what it meant to me, growing up, so we want to reintroduce that to everybody. Okay,
and then I saw you announce that you're with your Payroll Records with your one of the business partners that you mentioned in the past with Eli Davis. You guys are working on a documentary. What is that going to be about?
Well, the documentary is about an independent record label in North Carolina that we came together and we produced music that was getting played in New York City at the time when it was very segregated. They wouldn't play records outside of New York City, and we were getting our hip-hop records played up there. And everybody that was affiliated with the company went on to produce like all these major artists from I don't know. We produced everybody.
You did. You have an amazing collection.
Yeah. Like everybody from there went on to do something. Like one of the producers is a good friend of mine that was in there. He went on to produce, Jay-Z's first biggest records and things like that.
Okay.
And everybody that I produced, and so it was a lot of talent. And we were doing that before it was like these movements that were coming out of Philly and Texas and Miami. We were like at the birth of that whole thing, so we're gonna actually document it. A lot of hip hop historians know about the music, and so we're gonna do the story on it and put the music out. So,
okay, I like that. Yes. I like that.
So there's a lot of stuff going on.
It is a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, but we're just scratching the surface. Andre Fruition, we're working on a record also too. We're putting songs to the film out now, so we're in there writing and creating now also too. So
I know you won a Grammy. What song was that for?
That was for the Beyonce album Speechless.
Oh, okay. Yay. So you better have said she was your favorite artist to work with.
Yeah. She gave me a shout out and everything on TV. It was real. Yeah.
And so how can our audience get in touch with you or stay in tune with all these wonderful things that you have going on?
Well, okay, so right at the end where Pico hits Beverly Hills, this big mansion over here on there? Well, I'm not over there. I'm over on this side over here, right, in Hollywood. You can catch me over here.
Okay.
But you can catch me on Mr. Fanatic, at Mr. Fanatic for Twitter, Experience Fanatic on Facebook, Experience Fanatic on Instagram. That's about it. You catch me there and
catch up,
talk to me. I do a lot of guest speaking right now because I like to mentor a lot of these kids that are coming up in the music business and give them insight and direction, things that I didn't have.
Right.
And when you go through those experiences and you got those scars, you just want to help people that are going through the same thing, so that they have some guidance and they can, excel in this thing. So we all have to mentor each other.
We do.
Yeah. You got to
inspire one another.
Yeah, definitely.
With that love and passion.
Especially when you have a gift and you've been chosen to, that's your thing. You should always use it to inspire other people.
Right. And give back.
And you never know when you're inspiring somebody, so you got to just constantly put it out there and work hard.
So, that's right. So I guess we're gonna close this out now.
That's it?
It's almost a wrap.
Where the strippers at? I thought you.
They in the back. We got a separate room for that. It's a champagne room in the back. You know what I mean?
We bringing the cameras in there?
Nope.
Okay.
It will not be televised.
And shout out, the Shirley is amazing.
The Shirley?
Yeah.
That's the Pitbull.
Yeah.
Right, Pitbull energy drink. That's what it is.
There's a lot of Shirley, more Shirley than Temple in this one, but I'm feeling it.
Okay. And I do want to say a little something about this weekend, Saturday, March 7th. Miss Dunny O is having her Power Brunch LA from 12 to 4 at the Rock. Not too rock though. Hey. It's gonna be on your belly. You know how to get in my belly. What is that movie? Anyway, let me get Miss Dunny O is having her Power Brunch LA this Saturday, March 7th. It's from 12 to 4 at the Rock Rooftop in Santa Monica. Tickets are $60. It'll be bottomless mimosas, an endless brunch buffet, gourmet dessert selections, and of course, Beauty and the Beat will be there. Oh. That's what's up. That's what's up. So we're gonna close this out. What song? Maybe we could pick a nice little song. Something like, is that Mace going on right there? Let's go out to a little Mace by. That ain't the song I did. It's not. No, it's called Get Ready. We played it already. Don't. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, we going. Oh well. Excuse me. He gonna try to check me. Who gonna check me, boo? Listen, I'm sorry. We going out. We just trying to go out. I'll go out on my theme music if I want to. I like your theme music. Who did that? Kid Envy. Kid Envy. Shout out to Kid Envy. Yeah, that's nice. You like that? Yeah, you got some real. You can play it on the radio. Boom. Yeah, she coming. On the radio? Oh, is that what it says? She coming. Oh, that ain't for the kids then. No. It does not say she's coming like that. Meaning like I'm walking in the room. Oh. Hello. Oh, see? I was see, I was doing too much. You were doing way too much. She's coming. I'm coming. Oh, okay. We're coming. But we can all walk in together. We're not going to, go there. No. Andraeo. Oh, okay. No. Pull back here. Pull back. Yes. Beauty and the Beat, we about to be out. I forgot, I lost my train of thought. Shout us out. Connect with Beauty and the Beat on Beauty and the Beat Radio. IG? Is it Beauty and the Beat Radio? I gotta know this stuff off top. You know, social media is new for me. Oh, no. Oh, it is? Yeah, I know. It's very, I find myself technically challenged. Yeah, I do too. It's just hard to let people in your window like that when you're a very proud person. Like that. So I mean, it's really, you know, when it comes to business, you just promote business stuff. My personal stuff, it don't really be I'm not really a big. Well, it was good to do this show with you because I've been, we've been friends for a long time. Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead. You've been friends? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, and your mom, shout out to her. I always check on you when I see her, see how you're doing and whatnot. Oh. I remember I saw you in Baby Boy, and I was like, that's her. So, you did your thing. You do your thing. Yeah. We doing our thing. Yes. That's what's up. Oh, that's it. We ready to go? Oh, all right. We'll see y'all at the what's the event? Barbecue, the bingo and barbecue. No. Rock Rooftop, Miss Andraeo, Power Brunch LA. Be there, be square. Right. All right. Yep. We over and out. Beauty and the Beat Radio. She coming. Beauty and the Beat though. She coming. She coming. Beauty and the Beat though. Oh no. Beauty and the Beat Radio. Oh no.
Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Hey, no. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping.
Yo, man, that money bring the birds in. Throwing money while she twerking. If she with it, hit the whip, then we swerving. To the crib, once I get it, then it's curtains. To tell a bird, see you later. On the grind, so I gotta get this paper. Still the same, ain't change, ain't nothing new, but the money that's coming in and the birds that's coming through.